What is up, Nobilites? What is up? I am so very excited to be here with you guys today. Happy New Year to you. Happy 2023. I know you are super excited about this new year, as am I, as is Siobhan. We are very excited about the new year. And like me, you are probably making all kinds of resolutions, right? You are endeavoring to get your body right, to get your health in order, probably to get your finances in order. You are probably, wanting to pursue goals and dreams and all of the things that we do at the beginning of the year. Usually January hits and everybody gets their lives together, right? So you are probably in that same boat. And I know one of the things that you are thinking about is your health and your wellness. One of the things that you are concerned about, maybe your weight, maybe just eating better, maybe detoxing and getting cleaner, eating cleaner, feeling better, having more energy, all of these things that we declare that we want in the new year. Well, we want to help you today. I am super excited to be able to have this interview with Shevy Noble. I'm sure you know her. Very excited that she's going to share some information with us today, because a lot of times, and I know I'm guilty, right? A lot of times when we decide to get our lives together and we decide that we're going to get healthy, the first thing that we do is purchase a gym membership, right? The first thing that we do is run to the gym and start working out like crazy. We do that for 2 or 3 months, and then comes March and we no longer go. And then we're back to our old habits. But we are not going to do that this year, because as Siobhan is going to share with us today, health and wellness starts from the inside out. And I cannot wait for her to share this information. Siobhan, thank you so much for having this talk with us. Thank you for getting us together in 2023. Okay.
I so enjoy this. Thank you for hosting me in this interview. And also, the getting together always starts with me first, right?
Yes,
So I
yes.
help people get together because in the process, I've gotten through that too. And it's still continuing. My goodness.
Yeah, well, I love learning from you because obviously you're beautiful, right? You are amazing, and you look great. You look well. Your skin looks amazing. Your hair is flowing. Your nails are healthy. All of the things are healthy, right? It's not about going to the gym and getting to a size 2. No, everything about you just glows health. And so who better to learn from than somebody who walks this out all day, every day? And so I thank you for all of us Nobilites, right? I thank you for sharing the things that you're doing in your life and sharing the things that you teach to your clients with us today. So I've got my questions ready. If you are ready to answer them, I am ready to ask them so that we can share some information with those who are watching today. You ready?
Yes, go right on ahead. I'm an open book. I'm ready. Let's
Let's
go.
do it. Let's do it. Okay, so first question is, why do you think it is so hard for people to change bad habits? Why do you think it is so difficult for those of us coming into a new year? Because that's basically what we're doing, right? We're trying to correct what we did in 2022. We're trying to change the habits that we got used to having last year. We're trying to break those habits this year. Why is it so hard?
Well, the first thing that I have consistently come into contact with, and not exactly in the best way, is the mindset piece is so ingrained in people. And it's hard to just flip that off because they have things that they've connected food to. For example, when they celebrate, people always think you got to have a whole bunch of food, or you got to have celebratory food connected to that. Whenever someone's feeling bad, they go for comfort food. Whenever someone is in a situation where they're super busy, they don't have things in place to make that adjustment more smooth so that they can stay on track. And then also, there are some people who just don't know what to do. They're like, well, I think this is healthy, but I see it's healthy for them, but I don't know. I think it'll work for me too, but that's not always the case. What's healthy for you may not be healthy for me. I don't like to blanket it. But it's really just a mindset piece. You can't just jump out and be like, I'm gonna do it and then you haven't necessarily prepared yourself for it. Anything new, you have to prepare for it. And it starts with the mental first, honestly.
So good. That's so good. That's so powerful. Mindset always is the beginning of everything, right? You've got to first change your mind before you change your life. Paul tells us that in Romans 12:2, transformation of the life comes from renewing the mind, right? So that
Mhm.
is so good. So the next question is, how much does what you eat contribute to your overall health? Because I think we tend to minimize what happens in the kitchen and maximize what happens in the gym, right? Not that it's not important, because movement is important, but how do you prioritize what happens in the kitchen? How much does that affect your health and wellness from the inside out?
Well, first, flat bellies are made in the kitchen. They're not made in the gym. Honestly, 80% of nutrition, 80% of wellness, 80% of fitness is what you eat. And then the 20% is what you do. You know, you got to make sure that that is something that you understand. You can't, I've heard people say, I'm just working out so I can eat what I want. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of working out, because you're not going to have any results, really. The thing that people fail to realize is, and I'll use myself as an example.
Okay.
This holiday season, I let my boundaries and my normal routine just go just a little bit, right? And so I was noticing how much my brain was like not exactly recalling things the way that it should. There was some brain fog that occurred, and that came from the excess sugar that I had been eating. So it's hard for you to maintain something when you're counterproductive in what you eat. So you want to work out, but then you're tired because you got too much sugar in your system. So you're like, I need to work out, but I'm too tired to work out. That's not going to help if you're putting things in your body that's actually going to like cool the fire instead of igniting the fire, meaning your metabolism, your energy levels, and things of that nature. So it's really important what you eat. It keeps you thinking clearer. It keeps you feeling better. You wake up with a zeal, you know, when you eat the right things. And then also it gives you a desire for better things. Like you actually want, because your body, when it gets the nutrients that it needs, it
Yes.
wants more of it.
Mm.
So therefore, your body's actually telling you, hey, we like this. Give us more of that. Give us more
Mm.
of that. And then people fail to realize how they feel after they eat certain things. They just are passive. And I know I've done it in the past, but I'm more mindful and more intentional now, that when I eat something, I know what the end result is going to be. And then I weigh the cost. Do I really want to deal with that? Nah, probably not right now. So then as I'm counting the cost, I'm not going to do it. But a lot of people don't even have that intentionality to count the cost of what it is. And then when it gets too far out of hand, they're like, I got to do something about this.
You said something that I think is so important. I'm going to segue from questions here because you said something. I want you to go there because I think it's so key. A lot of times we only attribute weight gain to bad foods, right? We only attribute what happens to our waistline, right? Or what happens to our thighs, right? We only attribute the weight gain to the things that we eat. But a lot of times, the things that we're experiencing on the daily, we don't even realize it's coming from the food that we eat. Case
Mhm.
in point, for me, when I eat dairy or when I eat, there's dairy in something and it's too much of it, I wake up the next morning and I'm so congested. I could feel the congestion around my eyes. I'm, coughing. And it happens every single time when I eat pizza or if I eat something, that has a lot of cheese or a lot of butter or whatever the case may be in it, I feel it the next day. And it's not just weight gain. So sometimes the things that they're going through, like brain fog and fatigue and, and memory loss and sinus issues and pain, inflammation, right? All because of what they eat. Please talk about that, because I don't think a lot of people will put those two things together. Like, this is what I'm feeling, and it could be because I ate this.
So one of the things that I love is sushi, but I don't eat the raw sushi. I eat the vegetable one. So it has cucumbers, carrots, avocado and it's rolled up in like a little rice ball. And I don't eat it all the time, but I do like it. And you can get it with either white or brown rice, your choice, your preference. That's not something I care to like comment on right now. You choose which one you want. But avocados in my system cause me to have joint pain. So
Mm.
I can't have that much of it. Now, anywhere across the board, you're going to see people say that's a healthy fat, it's good for this, it's good for your brain, it's good. You need to have it. But again, what's good for you may not be good for me. So
Wow.
you have to know what actually causes these triggers within your body. Another example is whenever you have a lot of oils, like you use oils to cook with, those can actually cause inflammatory responses in your body, and then they cause aches and pains. And so, even if you switch oils, depending on which oil you use, because canola oil is just a straight no for anybody out there. Please, just if you have some, I don't want you to waste your money, but I don't want you to use it either. um, I always use a grapeseed oil, or either for those that they can use an avocado oil because it has higher heat temps in which you can use it to cook your food.
Yes.
But I try to tell people, if you're trying to keep yourself from getting pain in your joints and things, you should not be eating any oils at all, until you get that under control. You need to be on an anti-inflammatory diet. Now you can use not avocado, excuse me, olive oil, but you don't cook with olive oil. You're supposed to adorn your food with it, not cook with it, because it's not meant to go to high temperatures. So that would actually help reverse the inflammation as opposed to contribute to it. And what causes that inflammation is the oil going beyond the point that it's supposed to be used. It becomes rancid, and then it causes and triggers inflammation in the body. So that's why olive oil doesn't do that when you don't cook with it, but you just adorn your food with it. So those are just one of the things that I can, there are many that I can address, but that's one particular thing that I find is common amongst people that I work with.
I love that. And that was so eye-opening for me when I started my health journey. Like, some of these things that I am eating are contributing to the pain that I'm having in my back, or the pain in my knees, or, the joint pain. A lot of the times, my doctor would say, oh, you were a cheerleader, or you were a dancer, and so it's tendonitis, or it's this, or it's that. No, I was eating steak every day. I was eating red meat every day, right? And it
Oh
was,
my goodness.
increasing my inflammation levels. And so a lot of times, we don't know what's causing what we're feeling. And we're quick to go into the store and pull things off of the shelf and take, all of these over-the-counter medications for these symptoms for a quick fix without getting to the root of it. That's why I love the work that you do. I love how you educate. I love how you, you actually will pull apart all of the ingredients in something and share how it's affecting your body and affecting your mind. Mood is a result of the food that we eat. And you're wondering why you're lashing out at the kids, lashing out at the husband, or you don't feel like being, bothered and all of these things, it could very well be your diet. And so I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that you said that. This is so good. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Oh, right.
So my next question is, how important is detoxing your systems?
Oh my goodness.
Because we clean everything, right? We clean everything. We clean our house, we clean our cars, we clean everything, but we very rarely are intentional about cleaning our bodies. How important is it?
That part. So I suggest that everyone detoxes. And the reason for that is because, one, the air that we breathe has toxic chemicals in it. The foods that we eat are laden with toxic chemicals. The water that we drink that comes through and showers us, unless you have a filter on your water and also on your shower. And then on the same hand, you have people who are putting things on their body that have chemicals in them, lotions and certain makeups. Like, you got to be mindful of that as well. There are so many toxins going into our bodies that I don't care how healthy you eat, you have to detox. If you're a person who eats meat, then you need to be detoxing like every 3 months. Honestly, if you're a person who doesn't eat meat, then twice a year will be sufficient for you, with like a gentle cleanse in between. But as far as a major detox, honestly, oh gosh, people don't realize, like for me, because I do it on a regular basis, as soon as I eat something I'm not supposed to eat, it shows up. I indulged this December, and it showed up. Okay, like my kids were like, "Mom, you probably shouldn't have ate those cookies," and I was like, she was like, "You got a little something right there." So when you are usually accustomed to cleaning your system out, whenever something's in there that's not supposed to be in there, a red alert goes off, and you're like, "Okay, wait, I probably shouldn't have did that." But when you're used to that and your body's overly toxic, you don't even know. It shows up in other ways because it's kind of offset into other things. Like, for example, you could have issues with your kidneys, but it shows up in a different way in your body. And so, with that being said, most people don't realize just how things change in your body when
I will say this. Let's talk about detoxing, because I do think that, sometimes we're unaware of our toxic load, right? And we're so used to using certain things, right? Like all my life, I loved fragrances. My mom used fragrances, right? Everybody used fragrances. And so the women in my family, we go nowhere without perfumes, right? And
Bath and body all over.
right? Like just everywhere, all in our hair, everywhere, right? And I didn't realize how toxic those fragrances were. And so I stopped putting it on my skin, and I would only spray it on my clothing. And then I changed to clean perfumes, right? But like things like perfumes, lotions, body lotions, or, all of these things that we put on our skin, and our skin is like our greatest organ. It's the biggest organ that we have. Everything gets into our bodies through our skin, right? And we used all these makeups with different colors and high pigmented stuff, and we're not realizing that those toxins are getting into our bodies as a result. And what happens is we never clean. We never detox, and it just builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up. And then we wonder why we're feeling horribly. We wonder why we're not feeling well, right? And so what are some of the things that we can do in addition to like big detoxes, right? Like I know I will juice, and I have detoxing fruits and vegetables in my juices every day to try and keep the load down. I do like detox baths, right? Once a week or every other week, again, to try and keep the load down. What are some of the things that you would recommend that people do, or maybe recommend that people eat in order to detox their bodies on the daily or on a regular basis?
So one of the things I go over with my clients is their normal routine of like what they use on their skin and things of that nature. And when we can identify the things that are endocrine disruptors, the things that are disrupting their hormones, that may be triggering headaches and things of that nature that they aren't even aware of. Segue to, if you drink enough water, you can eliminate the headache. That could be a cause of it, or it could be something disrupting your hormones, right?
Okay.
You have to drink enough water. That's important.
Okay.
But on top of that, just using clean products, the dish soap that you use, because that is what you're going to ultimately eat off of, your silverware and your plates, your bowls, your cups, and then also what you wash with. Shout out to my girl Kat Pons from Restoration from Within. She makes amazing self-care products for your body, lotions, butters, soaps, and they're all clean. Yes. So when you use them, because I use them, and when you use them, you actually feel better about yourself because you did something to actually contribute to your health instead of take away from it. I'm just saying. So those are some things that you can do. Look at the labels of the products that you have. If you can't pronounce it and it look like doodle, you don't need to have it. Okay? You don't need to have it. Because ultimately, it's a chemical that is not meant to be in your body or on your body, or even on whatever you're going to put in your body. So with that being said, making sure you're using clean ingredients for your what you wash your clothes in, that makes a difference too. There are certain things that trigger eczema, in a very strong way. And people are wondering why they're so itchy. these items are on you all day, on your body, you know. We're not in the Garden of Eden anymore where we could just roam around freely. We have to wear clothes, and these clothes need to be clean with the right things in order for us to not have those residual fragrances and those residual chemicals on them that seep into your skin as you're wearing these clothes.
Yes. Yes.
So those are some things that I try to go over with people. And then cookware, what you cook with, you know, some of the things that are used to cook with as far as the actual in the pans and things of that nature, they release chemicals and toxins into your food. I don't want to go too deep, but I mean, there are so many things that you have to assess your toxic load based off of. One thing people don't realize is your teeth. Like if you have mercury from fillings in your teeth, that can wreak major havoc in your body. Because of the fact that it's seeping into your bloodstream and it's not supposed to be doing that, those chemical ingredients. So those are some of the things that I go over with my clients so we can address their toxic load. And then we work on, you know, some with the company of their doctor's permission, we work on reversing those things.
I love that you mentioned all of these things, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I know that there's somebody on the other side of this camera who's going to say this, right? Because, you know, even Kat, you mentioned Kat Pons. Kat and I have health hangouts sometimes. You know, I've been juicing for a long time, and health and wellness has been a part of, you know, my platform for a long time as well. And we always hear this, and I know you hear it as well. And I know it's going to come up in this, you know, in this video. It's like, this is just too much, right? Everything is bad for you, right? Everything you eat is bad for you. Everything you drink is bad for you. And because everything is bad, I just don't know where to start, and I'll just have to trust God, right? Like that's, I'm going to trust God, right?
I get that a lot.
I know you do. I know, and so do I, right? When I teach on it as well. How do you counter that? How do you speak wisdom to that? How do you teach around the person who feels like everything is bad and so therefore whatever, right? How do you handle that?
That's why I try to work on the mindset part first, because that helps them to be more focused on why they're doing it. You can't just do it because you want a quick result. You know, like you said earlier, you want to get a size 2.
Right.
That's not going to sustain you when you realize the changes that you have to make.
Right.
I mean, you really have to have a strong resonance as to why you're doing it. And so I always try to identify with people, why are you doing this? Like, what is your reasoning for wanting to be healthier? A common reason is, I want to live longer. Hey, that's a pretty strong reason. You want to stay on the earth a lot longer and fulfill God's will for your life. I can help you with that, you know? I want to be able to play with my grandkids and my great grandkids, you know? Those are reasons. And that kind of takes away the burden of everything that has to be taken away, because those things actually bring delight and joy to our life, you know? When you have a purpose that God has given you and you're operating in that purpose, there's an on switch that makes you feel like a rocket on the inside, you know? And when you're not feeling well, when you come off that high, you crash. And so in order to be able to continue in that sustainability, you have to change something, because there's a weight of glory that you want to carry, but that weight of glory can also crush you if you're not able to sustain it, you know? And so that's one thing that I try to get people to identify first. Why are you doing this? And when you realize why you're doing it, that's when you're able to tell yourself, you know what? I see this, I want to eat it, but I also want to make sure that I'm living longer and I want to do my part. So this right here, it ain't worth it. You know,
I'm gonna come right alongside with this too, because I know this is true, and a lot of people will say this as well. My husband and I just subscribed to Butcher Box so that we could start getting, you know, clean meats delivered, as opposed to having to go to the grocery store and find, you know, grass-fed beef and you know, cage-free chicken and all these kinds of things, right? And so it's a little bit more expensive than it typically would be, right? But at the end of the day, the conversation we had was, wait a minute, we're worth it, right? The cleanness of our bodies matter, right? So you're going to get people that say this too on the other side of this camera. I know you're thinking it. I know you're thinking it, right? You're going to get people that say it costs too much, right? These clean products that you're telling me, these clean soaps and, clean, hair products and all of these, like even clean sanitary products for those of us who are women, clean things for how we clean our houses and the laundry soap that we use and the dish soap that we use. Like you're saying, let's make it all clean and keep the toxic load down. They're saying, it costs a little bit more than what I'm used to. That's out of my budget. I'm looking at the prices of these grass-fed beef, right? Like it costs too much. How do you handle that?
Well, honestly, it does cost a lot, but it's worth it when you realize that you're feeling better. One thing that I often share, I used to clean with the regular household products, and I would be so angry afterwards. And I mean, like Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde type of switch, like just it was just bad. And I was like, why am I like this? Like, why am I literally feeling like this anxiety, this anger, like this feeling of just irritability is really what it was. And I realized that something was causing it. And when I had to pray about it, I was like, Lord, what is causing this? And cleaning agents came to mind. And so when I went ahead and started using clean ingredients, I didn't have that fit of irritability after I was done. And I tried to go back, play devil's advocate. I tried to go back and try it again. And that same fit of rage came back. I was like, oh my goodness. I could not believe how quickly it impacted my system. Wow. And my emotions when I would clean. And I never use gloves when I clean. I just, get on my hands and knees old school, and clean things with your hands. But I realized that was really causing some issues in my body and mentally. I was like, I don't like this. But when I transitioned, and I also make clean ingredients, like if somebody requests one of my clients, I'll make the ingredients for them. Yes. But I couldn't. It was no longer worthwhile. So I would say, if you don't want to buy the ingredients, I could probably help you make your own. That's cheaper, it lasts longer, and you know what's in it because you made it yourself. Everybody loves a little DIY project. If you don't, then I can make it for you and deliver it to you.
I love it. And I love your answer to that. It's worth it. And it is. And a lot of times we just have to pull that money from somewhere else. And I have had to do that as well. As I live a very clean lifestyle and it does cost more, but I pull it from other areas where I'm being superfluous in my spending.
And let me say that, you see this right here?
Yes.
That's also a part of my change. I can house 34 plants in this. And that is produce that I know is clean. And you'll see that in the days to come, y'all. It'll be sprouted and green and flourishing.
Here, I'll show you mine so they could see. It's mine in the corner right there.
I love it. And so that's one of the things to be cost effective, because this can continually reproduce vegetables and fruits, produce, and I don't have to pay the increase of whatever is at the market. So you can either go to your local farmer's market, because they can actually tell you if it's conventional or organic and how they actually raised it or planted it, what they put on it. Or you can grow it yourself.
And at the end of the day, isn't that what it's about, though, Siobhan? Like at the end of the day, it's about caring. It's about caring, and it's about, caring what you put on your skin and what you put in your body, caring what you put on the plate for your family and your children, caring about what you clean with, because your baby's bottoms are going to be sitting in that stuff, right? It's about caring at the end of the day. And, the Bible very clearly tells us don't defile the body. Well, that doesn't just mean fornication. It means just don't defile the body, period, with all of the things that are, that are detrimental and harmful to our bodies. We've got to love and respect the bodies that God has given us at the end of the day. That's what it's about. Amen.
You know, one of the hardest things to do is try to sit there and read your Bible after you done ate some junk food. You try to read.
It's so true. It's so true.
Man, we go and we get filled spiritually, you know, but then we go and put junk in our bodies. We can't do that. We have to also put things in our bodies that are going to reinvigorate that energy that we need and that zeal that we want to continue to carry. And
I
so
love that.
we got to put the right things in our body in order to continue to sustain that.
That may be your answer to the next question. So I was going to ask you, what's the best advice you could give to someone who is wanting to be healthier in 2023? What's the best advice?
Exactly what my shirt says. Raise the standard of your self-care. Why? Because you matter. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. Because you can't expect that your name not being on the list of care is going to be something that you can put off until later. Some people don't have later. That later never comes because they check off of this planet before that later comes. And then also people get the best of you when you feel better. They really do. Like your children, your coworkers, your family, your spouse, they get the best of you when you feel good.
So
and
powerful.
Things with a greater joy.
So powerful. Nothing like getting up and being ready for the day, mentally, emotionally, physically, right? Nothing like giving 100% to the call on your life or to the job that you like. There's nothing like it, right? Without being weighed down by illness and sickness and fatigue and all of the things that come with just not being healthy, right? Just not being healthy. A lot of times it's not necessarily at work, that boss that's driving you crazy in the job that you hate. It's how you feel when you go there, right? It's how you feel. So I only have a couple more questions and we can let them go, but I really want you to share. The other day I was having a conversation with you and it was a private conversation, right? But you mentioned to me, about a former client who used to work with you, who had, incredible results and then, went and did some other things and then came back. Tell us the story of what that was like and why. What did he share with you? And the reason I want you to share this is because there's somebody on the other side of the screen who's now, after this conversation, thinking about working with you, who's now like, okay, I might need some help in this health and wellness arena. Tell me about that story.
So one day, I was going to a friend's house and I wasn't even thinking of anything health related at that point. It was really just about relaxing. But the person's home that I went to, one of them was my former client. And, just my presence sometimes causes people to cover their plates and push things to the side. And they're like, don't judge me. And I'm like, I'm not even thinking about you. But when you carry an authority in an area, you don't even have to say anything. It just is what it is, right?
Oh, so good.
God. So when I was in there, the gentleman shared with me that they actually had gone ahead and tried some other programs and some other supplements, trying to just maintain, to get back to that place of weight loss, because they had lost a good amount of weight, reaching close to their goal when they were working with me. And they hadn't really seen any results at all with the different things that they were trying since we had worked together. And so what I thought was really funny was, it was a conflict of scheduling and some things had gone on where they just needed to take a pause. And so that's what we did. But then as time progressed, it was like, well, let me just try to do something. And so those things did not avail for them, and as a result of me coming into the picture, just not even thinking of anything about it, they were like, let me look at this stuff that I'm using. And they were like, I can't even pronounce some of these ingredients in this stuff. Like, and that's one thing that I'm very big on. If you can't pronounce it, you probably don't need it in you, let's just be simple about it. Make it plain. Yeah. And so then I got a phone call like the next day and they were like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and sign back up because, when I was working with you, stuff was working and everything was, moving in the right direction. I was feeling better. I wasn't having these issues. And so I'm gonna need to get back with you. And I'm like, hey, you know what? It's an open door policy. You're always welcome back, sir. More than more than honored to be able to help you on this journey. This time, let's just stay the course. Let's don't deviate. Let's stay the course. And so then I said, you know, I think about a lot of people who they put themselves in positions where things aren't exactly comfortable. And a new journey isn't comfortable.
Right.
You know, sometimes you got to make sacrifices in order to have the change that you want, and you got to do some adjustments. And so when you make those adjustments, you make those sacrifices, you get the results that you desire. And then as you continue, because I'm always teaching, as you continue in whatever you've been taught, it'll be long lasting and a lifestyle change instead of just a temporary fix.
I love that you even mentioned that, because a lot of times we take shortcuts. We take shortcuts. And, you know, and we do it with our health, and we do it in life in general. We do it when we're building businesses. Like, I have clients, you know, that will also do the same thing, right? Like, that will say, okay, well, I'm going to go over here and do this because it's going to cost me less. And then they come right back like, okay, coach, you know, let's go back, let's revisit, right? Let's revisit this, let's do this, because I get results when I work with you. And so obviously your clients are experiencing the same thing. They're taking shortcuts, and then it's like, nope, let me go back to Siobhan's programs because I know they work, right? I know they work. And so I'm excited for you to share with those who are watching this interview today, you know, who may have taken some shortcuts in the past, who may have tried some things that, you know, that didn't really work, right? Who may have subscribed to that diet culture instead of changing their lifestyles, right? Who may have done, if you've done all the things, it's okay. It is okay. We are not judging you, right? But I do want you, Siobhan, to share with everyone, what do you have coming up? What programs do you have available? What are you doing for 2023 to help people to find health and wellness this year and to become healthy from the inside out?
A few things that I am offering currently. One of the first things is I like to give people the ability to have some immediate relief that are local. So I have a foot detox that actually draws toxins out of the body. And I've had numerous clients come in and give testimonies of pain being gone, stomach not being able to eat for a couple of days. And then after they sit with me for 30 minutes, they're actually able to go and have dinner. Pain in the wrist being gone after they sprain their wrist. And I mean, it goes on and on. Like, I've had at least 10 different testimonies of just pain and nausea and just energy. The next morning when they woke up, that night they slept great. Those have been consistent. So that's the first thing. I offer a detox, and you can come sit with me 30 minutes, and I promise you, you'll feel some effects. It definitely will bring some effects. I'll put it that way. So the other thing is I have my Bougie Body program, and that is coming up starting on the 14th of January. That is helping you to identify that why that we talked about before, that seeing your value within yourself and raising that standard of your self-care so that you have a reason to say, no, I'm not putting that in my body. No, not settling for that. You know, just basically raising the standard of what you put in and on your body. And then also, I have a 6-month program where I walk people through a process of identifying what we just talked about, identifying their food triggers, things that are causing issues in their body that they weren't aware of. And then also going through a process of a 5-system organ detox.
Nice.
That one, you have to do at least 30 days of clean eating prior to, so that way you're not going through what we call a healing crisis where your body's just like, what happened? I try to keep people from going through that process as best as I can. And so with that being said, that's why identifying your food intolerances is important first, so that way we're not putting anything in that shouldn't be in that will cause your body to kind of spaz out. And then after that, we go through a process of identifying what's your greatest challenge. And then we walk through that together. So you have, you know, a group that you can join that is also going to encourage you. Then you also have me one-on-one. We do our coaching sessions. And then also there will be meal plans provided, grocery lists. For some people, I do prep their foods for them. Just depends on how they want to be in the process. Some people are like, I don't see myself cooking any of this stuff. Can you do it? And then other people are like, just tell me what to cook and I'll do it. So it just depends, but we have something for everyone.
I love that. And you actually do have something for everyone. So for that person who's like, okay, I need something right now, like, let's do this right now. I need to come into the Noble Wellness Center tomorrow for this detox, right? I need the foot detox. That's something that they could do quickly. It's very inexpensive, and it's something that will make a huge difference in their body. For those who want the next level and want to go through Bougie Body, which I love the name of that program, because some of us are bougie and we buy the nice purses and we buy the nice clothing, and we want the best of things. And that person also needs to want the best of what's for their bodies, right? The best. They want to take care of their bodies and prioritize their health and their wellness. I think that is bougie, and I love it. And so the Bougie Body program is fantastic. That begins again on the 14th. And then you got those who are, this is long term. And I want to make a complete transformation. I want to change my life completely and the lives of those in my family. And so it's a process, and that 6-month program is the perfect option for that person that's like, you know what, I'm done with the trash. That was me. I'm done with the trash, right? I'm done with the trash. And I completely changed my life. And it was a process. And so I love that you have something for everyone. Listen, if you are on the other side of this camera, today is your day to make a decision to actually get healthy from the inside out in 2023. I love it. Make your health your priority. And this is more than just going to the gym. This is more than just buying you a thermos or buying you a water bottle, right? And just drinking water. It's more than that. You've got to learn and you've got to educate yourself, get the wisdom, get the instruction, and have somebody there to hold your hand as you make these transformations in your life. I love it. The Bible says that faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing, right? And so you got to have somebody teaching. You got to have somebody sharing with you the things to help you to actually get healthy. Now, is this for everybody? It's not. It's not, because everybody's not willing. But is it for you? Is it for you? Are you willing to actually get healthy, to look at what's on your plate, to look at what you're cleaning with, to look at what you're eating and what you're putting on your skin and what you're feeding the babies and what you're giving them and what you're using to clean their clothes and all of those things? Is it worth it for you? If your answer to that is yes, Siobhan is going to tell you how to get in touch with her and how to enroll in some of these programs that she has for 2023. How do they get in touch with you?
Yes, so they can go to noblewellnesscenter.com, and that is my website. And when you go there, at the very top of the page, there is a sign up or contact link button that you can press and put in your information, and then you'll be receiving an email. It's an email, and in which you'll get the information for the programs, and then you can choose whichever one you want to sign up for. And again, the 14th is our start date. Anybody that signs up within this next 72-hour window, you get half off of the 6-month program.
Wait, hold on. Did you say half off? 50%. Listen, that is major. 50% off. That's huge.
So you get half off of the 6-month program if you sign up within the next 72 hours. And today's the 4th?
Yes.
Okay. So today's the 4th. And if you do sign up, you will also get, in addition to that, starting off, a Epicure box. So you'll get an Epicure box with yeah, I know, right? With 3 weeks worth of meals that are clean eating meals. You're still going to have to prepare your food, but you're going to do it with better ingredients. So
I love it. Well, I am an Epicure fan. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Epicure, the meal solutions and seasonings are low sodium, low sugar and gluten-free. And so it's very, very difficult to get any better than that, right? Already prepared for you. You just literally have to make the food yourself, but it's already, everything's in a package for you, basically. Dinner's in the bag. And I love it. I love it. So it is delicious. It is. So it is noblewellnesscenter.com. And go ahead and click the button to enter your information so that you can get the email with all of the links. Do not procrastinate. Do not let this opportunity pass you by. She said 50% off. That is nuts. That is nuts. And so I am excited that she is presenting this to you today. If you are ready to change your health and make health and wellness your priority this year, then definitely go to noblewellnesscenter.com. If you are watching this video on YouTube, the link is in the description, right? If you are watching it on Facebook, the link is in the comments. Wherever you happen to be watching this video, take a look for that noblewellnesscenter.com. Go there and you can enroll in this program. Thank you so much, Siobhan, for having this conversation with me today, for enlightening us about what health really is, right? And how to achieve it in 2023. Is there anything else you want to say before we say goodbye to the people?
Well, thank you for taking this journey with me. And I just want you to know that it is my honor to be able to walk alongside anyone that desires to change their habits, change their mindset, and change their body. I'm here for it. I'm definitely looking forward to be able to serve you.
I love it. So exciting. She has got skin in the game. So many years of helping people to get healthy, to get clean, to heal and reverse diseases. So many years she has put in acquiring the knowledge to be able to do this. So if you need help, Siobhan is the person to help you. So if you are a Nobleite, make sure you connect with her, stay in community, continue to learn from her. And if you're ready, it's noblewellnesscenter.com. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Happy New Year to you. I pray this is your best and blessed year ever. God bless you. Take good care.
Take care.
Bye.